Let's go live to Vienna now. Peter McGuire from XM joins us live via Skype ahead of that meeting. He is in town. Peter, appreciate your time today. Eyes of the world very much going to be trained on this meeting. Big ramifications across asset classes. How much should we expect from the cartel, do you think?
Well, good morning, James. I should say good afternoon. I think you're going to probably see a 1 to 1.5 million barrel cut. That's what they're tipping. I think there was a little bit of a wild card thrown into the pack over the last, matter of 24 to 36 hours being Qatar. And that I don't think that's going to derail anything. It possibly may add a little bit of more cohesion across the UAE and towards the Saudis. And then you look at the big picture, we've seen a little bit of a jump in energy prices over the last, couple of trading sessions. So it's bid up. Let's just see what happens over the next, 24 hours. It's a moving target. And we've just got to understand, what dynamics play into it.
I mean, we saw a big move overnight in terms of the oil price. You're seeing it continue to strengthen during the Asian session. I just wonder how much of that potential supply cut that you made mention of is already factored into the price at this point.
Well, it well could be. I think the other side of it is that you're looking at that supply. Also, if you strip out the 600,000 barrels that the Qatar were contributing to that, that headline number, that's also got to be taken on board also. So, I think there's going to be a number of different components to it, many moving parts. Maybe it's going to, be a little bit more exhausted. You might see a little bit further movement. I'm not suggesting you're going to see $60 for WTI and 70 for Brent shortly. I think it's going to be range bound, and I think that there's going to be a little bit of containment as far as price.
Peter, hi, it's Henry Jennings in Sydney from Marcus Today. I admire your dedication to be heading over to Vienna for an OPEC meeting. That's above and beyond, but so well done. Just where do you think the price is that everybody's happy, where the US shale producers are happy, where Saudis are happy, where the world doesn't see that headwind, I guess, from oil prices, and where President Trump is happy as well? Where do you see equilibrium, the fair price, I guess?
Well, I tell you what, Henry, I mean, go back a couple of months ago, we're thinking in mid-September, everyone was saying it's going to get bid up to probably $100 a barrel, and there's just so much momentum to the upside. Then October comes in, you see President Trump saying he wants to see a big cut in oil prices. That was demonstrated. You had the midterms, then you had the Khashoggi issue. All of that has been a geopolitical hotspot over 2 months. You've seen the US dollar running out of steam. Jay Powell saying, well, maybe we're not going to see continued rate rises. So this is why I'm saying that 50 to 60 buck sort of price range, unless you see something dramatic on a geopolitical, why are you going to see higher prices from here? I think it's going to be very, very range bound, and unless you see, a massive breakout from some unknown reason, Henry.
Pete, it's Adam here from Shaw and Partners. So we've gone from oversupply to undersupply. You think it's going to be range bound. So just give me the scenario. They take 1.5 million barrels off in OPEC. Where does that leave WTI? Yep. Do we get a rally? Do we get over 60? Do we get 70? Or you think it's just flatlining here?
I think it's flatlining, and going back to just answering that last part as far as Henry's question on what happens to the shale side, these guys are producing at record numbers. 6 to 10 years ago, the US shale was an infant sort of industry. Now it's a full-blown, monster of an industry, and it's only growing to the upside as far as more capacity coming online. So, this is why I think that we're in a changing of the guard, where I think there's plenty, the world's awash with oil. There's no shortage of it. Yes, we're going through 100 million barrels a day. I was at the IEA last Thursday in Paris. And, it's the first quarter ever that we're through that 100 million barrel mark. So there's huge numbers coming into play. But the other side of it is that we've got plenty of it. Russia taken on board their numbers, and the Saudis. I think we're, it'll get a little bit of a cut. It'll be range bound, and again, you're going to be holding at these sort of levels. From a trading perspective, it's been awesome over the last 2 months to the downside, but I just don't think you're going to see an upward rally.
All right, Peter McGuire, got to leave it there. Do appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much. I know it is early in the morning for you there. Thank you.
Thank you, James.